So schedule and category, as we have discussed earlier, a document has a structure. A sales document has a structure, that is header, item, and schedule line. So we already discussed that schedule line is part of an item. So one item can have multiple schedule lines. So let's see what schedule lines. So we already discussed this. The table is VBEP for the schedule lines, and schedule line data consists of the confirmed delivery dates and confirmed quantities. And schedule line data will be controlled by the schedule line category, and it can be accessed with the transaction code VO V6. VO V6. So these are the different schedules what we have in the system. So the standard we have two, one CN and CP are the standard. You can see here. So order, the standard is CN and CP. So why we have two schedulers? We are having only one order type, one item category, these all things. But coming to schedulers, you can see we have two, because CN and CP. CN is no MRP and CP is deterministic MRP. That means, say if you don't want to perform availability check or TOR, then maintain CN. Why? Because there is no MRP, there is no material requirement planning. Okay. And if you want to perform availability check and material and TOR, then maintain CP. So deterministic MRP, that means an MRP type will be determined. What is the MRP type? Either ND or PD, that is no planning or planning, PD. So for CN it is ND, no planning, that is the reason no MRP, and for CP it's PD, this planning. So in the real time they would be using CP and it's PD always, but in the training scope we cannot maintain this. Why? Because we cannot do the TORs and all things simulations in the IDA system. So we'll be going with the schedule line, that is CN standard. In the this is only for the training scope, but in the real time they would be using the CP, which is a determinist MRP. So you can see here CN no MRP, and you can see CP deterministic MRP. So along with this we have a couple of more schedule lines, like say for third party. What is the item category for third party? BA NS. And what is the item category? TAS. And what is the schedule line? CS. So for all, at the end it is S for the third party. Likewise, if it is IPO, BA, NC, TAB, and CB. Okay. So B at the last for the IPO. So some shortcut to remember. Okay. So when we have few more DN, we have one more schedule line DN for the BOM, not BOM, returns. See, this is DN mentioned here. Actually, it should be not DN, it should be BV. Okay, just correct in your document also. Cash sales. No, not here. No, not BV. It's not even BV. Should be also CN, I guess, CN or CP, but not DN. DN is for the returns generally. It's a return order. Okay, anyway, I'll give the list to you. And CT, you can see for the BOM. Okay, So these are the couple of schedule lines what we have in the standard. So always, as the SAP best practices, you need to copy and use the reuse it. Okay, so don't change anything in the standards. So let's go to CN, the standard no MRP. Why? Because in the training scope we will be going only with this. Go to the details. So in the details you will be finding the fields. Okay, the first field what you have is delivery block. See, we have seen this delivery block at the order level, that is document type OR, and we have seen this schedule delivery block at the item, that is item categories, and now we are seeing this delivery block at uh, all delivery block. That means if you maintain a delivery block at the order level, that is header level, then it applicable to the total document. That means the total document itself is blocked. You cannot deliver any item from that particular order. Okay, so if you maintain a delivery block at the item category level, then only this particular item is blocked in this particular order from delivery. Okay, but if you maintain the delivery block at the item schedule line level, that means as we discussed, one item can have multiple schedule lines. Okay, so if you maintain at the schedule line level, only that particular schedule line is blocked. Okay, so that's the difference between maintaining the delivery block at the different stages. And the next field, and very important field, that is movement type. Okay, movement type actually determines the goods movement, that is the stock movement from one place to another place. It can be a warehouse, it can be a company to plant to customer, or it can be from one storage location to other storage location. That it tells that whether the goods is going outside the plant, that is outbound delivery, or whether the goods is coming inside the plant. That is, it can be a raw material, can be a semi-finished goods, it can be a trading goods, it can be any goods which is handled by the guys in inbound deliveries. Okay, so movement type is the most important thing, and movement type, if you specify some goods movement with a movement type, it tells actually where the stock is moving out. Okay, and very important, you should also know a couple of movement types also, why? Because they'll be asking in the interviews saying that can you please tell me few movement types of Okay, why? Because we will be using very closely in many integrations, so you should know the movement types of also. So in the training scope we will cover that. Okay, so let's go ahead and delivery block. The next is movement type, and see, every movement type has two effects. Okay, any movement type, it will have two effects. So let's go ahead and see what all the movement types controls. Okay, so what is the effects of the movement types? That is, so what is the movement type? Every physical movement of a goods requires a movement type. That means if you want to move a goods even an inch, it should be specified with a movement type, then only you can move the goods. And movement type will have two effects. The first effect is it specifies where the goods are moving from to where. Okay, and it updates the stock. The next is it controls whether to generate an inventory accounting document or not. That is COGS debit to inventory credit or inventory debit to COGS credit. So how it's controlled? It's controlled by the movement type. So these are the two effects which we'll be having for any movement type. Okay, so let's see the standard movement types. Okay, so you create a delivery in the system with a transaction code called VL01N, and you save the document. Nothing happens. You create a delivery, nothing happens unless you hit a button called PGI, which is post goods issue. Okay, when you hit this button, then only with the help of a movement type 601 the goods move out of the plant. Okay, you can create a delivery and save it in the system, nothing will happen, but when you hit the PGI, then only the stocks moves out of the plant. So system considers movement type at the time of PGI. Whenever we do PGI, system update the stock and the inventory accounting document generates. Okay, so let's see what happens. Post goods issue, when you create a delivery document and hit the post goods issue button, standard. See, I would be discussing CP only. Why? Because this is what the real time used. Okay, so don't tell CN in the interviews. Always tell CP. CN means it's only you will be finding in IDES. Okay, so moment type 601. So what is moment type? The standard moment type you can see in the CN or CP is 601. It says that goods delivery, goods issue, that is delivery. Goods issue delivery means it's outbound delivery. 601. And the effect is stock would be reduced from the unrestricted stock, and the inventory accounting document is generated, and the inventory accounting document is standard, that is COGS debit to inventory credit. Okay, so this is the effect what we'll be having once you run the delivery, okay, and hit the button PGA. Okay, so let's see the reverse of this PGA. We have one thing, right, which is called as PGR. Okay, post goods receipt. So in the interviews they will not ask you what is the moment type for PGI, but because it's a standard you will be seeing every time. They will be asking what is the moment type for PGR and what is the T code to do a reverse PGI. Okay, so this is what the tricky questions they ask in the interviews. So let's see what is the reverse PGI, what is the moment type, and what is its effects. Reverse PGI. Yeah, you see this reverse PGI in SAP, something is like a reverse to the standard. So 601, the opposite, that is 602, that is the reverse PGI, which is called as PGR, post goods receipt. Okay, so stock would be reduced from the unrestricted stock, and the inventory accounting document would be stock would be added back to, it is not reduced, stock would be added back to the unrestricted stock. See, this is a good quality stock. You are taking the stock, either customer don't want that, he is returning back, or you are taking the stock because you have over delivered. The customer asked for 100 but you delivered 120. Now customer is returning that 20 back to you. Okay, so this stock is a good quality stock, again, which you can sell immediately to the customers, right? So you take the stock back to the unrestricted stock. So how you do that? With a moment type 602, and it's a reverse PGI. This returns is not a damaged stock returns, this is a good quality stock returns. Oh, you cannot hear me. So now is it audible? Okay, I don't know, some long. Okay, okay, yeah. So let's go to returns. Oh, you missed the 602. Okay, let me go back. See, 602 is the reverse PGI. That means you deliver the stock, it's a good quality stock, but you are taking back for some reasons, like say your customer don't want the quantities and he is returning back, or customer asked for 100 quantity, you delivered 120 quantity. So this good quality stock you are taking back. See, if it's a damaged or expired, it is a return stock, but this return stock is not damaged stock, it's a good quality stock. So you want to take it back and want to add it in unrestricted stock, so that immediately you can send it to some other customers. Okay, so that how you handle with a PGR. Okay, post goods received. And how you get this? With the transaction code VL09N. Okay, VL09N is the transaction code to do the PGR. Okay, so this is PGR, and you can see the moment inventory accounting document getting reversed, that is inventory account debit to COGS credit. Okay, so let's go to the returns. So returns. So as we discussed, movement type tells the direction of the goods movement. That means whether it's going outside the plant or in coming inside the plant or within the storage within the plant, it's moving from one storage location to other storage location, and whether it's a good quality stock or a blocked stock, expired stock, whatever it is. Okay. So returns, in case of if it's a damaged stock, if it's a damaged stock, you want to take that stock and you want to add that stock to the return storage location. How can you get that? You can get that with the moment type 651. So DN is for returns. So DN, you can see the moment type 651. So what 651 says? Goods related delivery, but returns. You can see the returns. Okay. So you can see that stock will be added back to the return stock, the storage location, and there is no inventory accounting document generated. Why there is no inventory accounting document generated for a return stock? Anyone? Any idea? Why?
We need to assess the quality of the stock before adding it to the unrestricted stock.
Yeah. So return stock, why we are not having any inventory document generated for return stock? It is because return stock is a temporary stock. Okay, return stock is a temporary stock. So 651 moment type, you tag it and you take the stock first inside the plant, but then later returns. Customer says that it's a not good quality, so you want to check it, what happens with that quality. That is, so later you tag it with some other moment type, sending it to quality inspection. In the quality inspection it's failed and notice that, say suppose it is a expired stock, you will be sending it to blocker stock. And some moment type you'll tag it and send it to scrap, like this. Okay, so 651, whatever the stock you tag it with the 651 moment type, that is nothing but it's uh, a temporary stock. That's the reason there is no inventory accounting document generated for the 651. Okay, so very important, just remember. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, after 651, okay, the stock comes into our return stock, right?
Yes.
After that, who will act? The MM side or SD side?
MM. Anything is by MM. SD is concerned only with one moment type, that is 601. Outbound delivery. Why, right? SD is concerned with only one moment type, that is outbound delivery. Why? Because whatever is coming inside the plant should be handled by the MM. That's what their job is. Okay. So this is the reason in the interviews they ask questions saying that what is the moment types of MM? But we will be using all these moment types. Okay. So 651, and very important, I have not mentioned here, return stock is always a temporary stock. Okay, 651, it's a temporary stock. So the next, once you get that return delivery, you are doing return. So but this return 653 is a good quality stock. You are taking it return because of dump stock. You dump some quantity at the customer, say consignments, you are taking that back. So not consignment has its own moment type anyway. So it's a some reason you have over delivered to the customer, so now you're taking that stock back. So 653, let me open 653 and show you what it says. Very important, you can take a 5-star for the moment types and the schedule line. Very important, you'll be facing lots and lots of questions. 653, right? Yeah, 653, goods return unrestricted stock. You see, you're taking the stock back but adding back to the unrestricted stock. It's a good quality stock. This is one returns. You can see DN 653, adding stock to unrestricted stock. Stock will be updated to added to unrestricted stock, and an inventory accounting document generated. Okay. So what's the difference between PGR, that is 602, and 653? Can anyone? What is the difference between these two? So So 602, customer says that I don't want this he's returning the quantities back itself. So you're doing a reverse PGI. You're taking the stocks in. This is customer is returning the stock because it's a dumped stock or delivery stocks. Then next, once you capture it with 651, you want to send it to quality inspection. Okay, so you tag with a 655. Let's see what is 655. 655, you can see goods returns, but it's a QI, quality inspection. Okay, again we have 651. Yeah, go ahead.
Instead of 601, instead of 653, can't we use 601 because movement type is same, going to the same entries, adding to unrestricted stock?
Yeah. So 601 is used by SD consultant. The 602 reverse PJ is used by SD consultants, and this returns is handled by MM. The 653 is it's handled by MM.
But when they do 653, actually they have to come through SD only, correct? Because the return delivery is to be handled in SD.
Yes.
Okay, we have to create a return RE type order. When you create RE type and do the goods receipt, it's going to be 653.
Yeah.
Instead, what's the actual entry difference between 602 and 653?
It's the same. See, 653 MM guys can use isolated without the SD. That means if they want to take any stock into the plant, so they can take it without SD integration. But if you do 602, you are integrated with MM. Got it? So that's the difference between.
I'll try to understand.
Oh, you just try it. Okay. So the next moment type, quality inspection, that is 655. Very important. You should remember the 653, 655s and accounting entries. Okay. So 655, what it says, goods returns in quality inspection. Okay. So you can see quality inspection. That is for the defected stock or adding stock to the quality stock. So the effect is stock will be added to quality inventory stock, and inventory accounting document get generated, and the reverse of the standard, it is inventory account debit to COGS credit. So I hope you have seen these stocks, right, in the MMBE. Did I show you earlier MMBE, different kinds of stocks?
Yeah,
I have shown you, right?
Stock overview.
Yeah, stock overview. There you can see what all stocks we have: quality inspection, return, consignment, orders on hand, unrestricted stock, STO stock.
Yeah.
Right. So under the MMBE, if you tag, so see, when I say tag, what is tag? That is nothing but you go to MB1C, and instead of moment type 561 initial stock upload, you put this 653 and you upload. 653 system knows that where to add the stock. It will go and add the stock. If you tag it with 561 moment type, it will go and add it under the unrestricted stock. So anything should be done with the MB1C, and MB1C is handled by the MM end users. So this is quality stock. The next is blocked stock. That means after the quality inspection, say suppose you identified that this is an expired stock, then you don't want the stock to be determined into the sales document. You want to block it. Then that is 657 moment type. Let's see what 657 says. Goods returns, it's a blocked stock. So how you block that? With the 657, and stock will be added to the blocked stock and inventory account. See, any returns, the inventory accounting document is same. Okay, that is inventory debits and COGS credit. Standard is COGS debit and inventory credit, but returns, any returns is the same. So reverse PGI, yeah, that's what the moment types as an SD consultant we should be knowing. The next is consignments. So I hope you know the consignment process, which we already discussed. Consignment, what we call consignment fill up, consignment issue, consignment returns. So anyway, we'll be discussing this very extensively later as a business process. So I'll not be discussing this again here. but you can just give some good reading here for the consignments. Okay, and consignment is completely controlled by the movement types. Okay, so I'm skipping the consignments here. So the next is STO, stock transport order. So I hope we haven't discussed this earlier. Let me explain your STO process. Did we discuss STO process earlier? I don't remember actually. We haven't discussed, I guess, right? So no, right? Okay, so let's discuss.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No.
So let me take you through a small STO introduction. See, stock transport order, very important business process. See, there are a couple of important business process which you should have in your resume. Without that, you will not even get an interview call. If you don't have third party, if you don't have STO in your resume, forget about interview calls. You will not get interview calls if you don't have these two process in your resume. And OTC, third party, STO, because any company, it can be MNC, it can be a domestic company, any company, whether it can be any industry, you will have this process mandatory. That is STO, third party, and OTC. These three processes are mandatory for any size company, any industry company. Okay. So let's see a small introduction about STO. Anyway, STO again we will handle at the business process and we'll be extensively discussing the controls there. But just let me give you an introduction. So STO process. There are two STO which is called as a two-step, one-step. When I say STO, it is always a two-step process. By default, if anyone says STO process, it's always a two-step process unless until specifically mentioned as one step. Unless until specifically mentioned as one step, it is always a two-step process. So let's see what is one-step process and what is two-step process. So STO, stock transport order, happens within the company. Within the company in the sense, I manufacture goods at plant, but I don't have factory sales. I need to sell it from depots which is located at the city. Why? Because sometimes my plant is located some 500 kilometers from the city. Okay. So say suppose Maruti cars are manufactured at plant in Haryana, but you are getting sold from where you are getting these products. A Maruti car where you can buy from the dealer who is within your city, right? And from where this dealer get the stock, Maruti might be having a depot in that city and it would be distributing the cars from that depot to all the dealers. So first, Maruti should get all the cars from the plant to depot, right? This is called as stock transport order. Stock transport order can happen between plant to plant, depot to depot, or plant to depot. We don't deliver depot to plant. It's only one way, plant to depot. So it can be plant to plant or depot to depot or plant to depot. Sometimes if you go to any store, they might be telling, I don't have the stock at present, but we have it in other branch or other store we have that stock. If you want, I can get it from. That is nothing but depot to depot. Okay, so STO can happen between these two. And STO, it's internal goods movement. Okay, so how the process runs? The process runs like this. Process runs like this. Receiving plant, or it can be a depot or a receiving plant. Okay, unless you mention it as a depot, it is always a plant. You should mention it as a depot. If not, it is a sorry, excuse me. It's a plant. If you don't mention it's a depot. Okay, so in the STO process, you have two plants. One is supplying plant and one is receiving plant, or this can be a supplying plant and this can be a depot. So a receiving plant raises a purchase order. Okay, a receiving plant raises a purchase order to supplying plant, and supplying plant will do a delivery with reference to PO. Standard OTC process, you do delivery with reference to what? Order. You do a delivery with order, but STO, you do delivery with reference to purchase order. And what is the transaction code? Very important transaction code. So this is what they want to know in the interviews. That is, in the interviews they try to ask these questions majorly. VL10D. VL10D is the transaction code which you will be using to do a delivery with reference to PO. Okay, with reference to PO, VL10D. So this is what they ask in interviews. What is the transaction code for reverse PGI? They don't ask which you use frequently. Okay, so VL10D, not B, D, D. Okay, so receiving plant raise a PO to supplying plant, and supplying plant gets the delivery with reference to PO. But I had used 10B, VL10B. Just a moment. Let me run the T code and see. VL10B, no, no. VL10D. It takes time. Okay, anyway, by the time it opens, we'll go ahead with this. Okay, so my idea is the VL10D, it's not 10B, but Gaurav is saying 10B. Let's check it and confirm. Okay, so once you do delivery with reference to PO, the stock status at the receiving plant shows as stock in transit. Stock in, okay, both can be used. Okay, Gaurav. Okay, yeah, but because I have used only VL10D all the time, never I used VL10B, but Gaurav says VL10B, and he's saying that both can be used. Okay, so yeah, so but let us be assured and check. Okay, purchase order items. Okay, so this is the delivery. You can see delivery creating with reference to PO, that is VL10D. Okay, delivery, but let me also run VL10B. How it can be same? Okay, even VL10B, it's taking me here, but this is a fast delivery. There is something difference, right? Slash and VL10D. You see, VL10D, it says that purchase order items only delivery. You can see this here on the title. And VL10B says that slash and VL10B says that purchase orders fast delivery. So I never use this VL10B fast. What is this fast delivery? But the standard I use is VL10D. Okay, make a note of VL10B also. Okay, so whenever this supplying plant do the delivery with reference to PO, the stock status at the receiving plant shows that stock in transit, and when this will stock will be shown as actual stock at receiving plant is when we do MIGO. MIGO means goods received. Okay, uh, and MIGO is done with the movement type 101 slash and VO V4, right? So V4 or V6? V6. You see goods received 101. This is the most used movement type, and they will be for sure asking what is the movement type for MIGO. It's 101. Okay. So when the stock will be shown as actual stock in the receiving plant is when you do MIGO, goods received. Until then, the stock shown as a stock in transit when the supplying plant shown as delivery with reference to PO. Okay. So this is two-step process. But what is one-step process? That is, receiving plant raise a PO to supplying plant, and supplying plant do the delivery with reference to PO. And here you don't need to do MIGO. There is no need of MIGO in one-step process. Once the delivery with reference to PO is created with the supplying plant, even though stock is not received physically at the receiving plant, it shows as actual stock. Okay, it shows as actual stock in the receiving plant. So that is the difference between the two, one step and two
I
step.
mean, what will be the movement type at the supplying plant?
Movement type at the
Supplying plant, because from supplying plant the inventory need to be deducted, correct?
yes,
Right.
647 and 641. Yeah, you can see here. So the movement type for STO 641, the two step, and one step it is 647. And see, it's very confusing actually. Why? Because if someone for sure they ask this question in the interviews, they're more interested to ask questions like this. What is the movement type for one step process? STO one step process, what is the movement type? So when I say one step process, you always incline to 641, but 641 is always for two step and 647 is for one step. So a small tip, one step will not have one. Okay, one step will not have one. Two step will have the one. Okay. So if I go to NN, just let's see NN. You can see here movement type and movement type one step. If I go to NN, that is STO, 641, that is a standard, which is two step, and 647 one step. If you specify, if you are going with one step, just only mention 647.
Do we use same VL10D and B for one step process?
It's same, it's the same, delivery is same. Only the difference is we don't do MIGO for one step. That is goods receipt capture, we don't do that. Okay. So STO again anyway
But how do
comes
we
there.
basically,
Yeah. Go
sorry,
ahead.
when we do VL10D or B, how system knows we need to do MIGO or not?
That's what the movement type controls.
So we have to select movement type and VL10D.
No, CL movement type will be automatically picked. You need not to mention manually. When you see, if you are doing one step, that means see if your company has only one step, you don't have two step, then you will not be maintaining actually this.
Okay.
Okay. Or else,
So automatic return.
yeah. Or else, what you can do is you can copy this and you can have the item category determination, schedule and category determination according to your requirement for one step.
Okay.
Okay. And in that one step, you will not maintain this two step to 647. Okay. And the returns, STO returns, let me just give one brief idea here, very important interview question also. So receiving plant will raise a return PO, okay, and receiving plant will do the return MIGO and a return delivery is happened, okay. So in this case, so when the actual stock is added in the STO standard process, that is at the time of MIGO. At the time of MIGO, the stock is added back here. But coming to the return delivery, the stock is added back to the supplying plant when we do the return delivery, but not return MIGO. So they ask in the interviews, in the STO returns, when the stock is actually added to supplying plant. It is actually added to the supplying plant when you do the return delivery, but not when you do the return MIGO. Okay. And regarding MIGO, don't worry about this thing, the terminology MIGO or MIRO. We will be extensionally using it later. Okay. When it comes to the business process, you will be knowing this, what is MIGO, MIRO and these all things. Okay. So STO, this is what we have, the movement types. 641, the movement type is stock will be reduced from the supplying plant and stock will be displayed as a stock in transit in the receiving plant, and an inventory accounting document generated, that is stock inward movement debit to stock outward movement credit. And the STO one step process, the movement type is 647 and the stock will be reduced from supply plant and stock will be directly added and shown as a stock in receiving plant. And inventory accounting document generates, that is same stock, what we call inward movement debit to outward movement credit. And STO returns, it is 671 and 77. Okay, and intercompany STO 643, 645. So I'm quickly running on this. Why? Because we'll again see when it comes to the business process. Only just remember the figures here. That's it, and the effects. Okay. So this is what the moment types what we have in the SAP. Very important, and couple of them are MM also. I'll also share some moment types from MM also, or you can type in the Google and see what are why, because this question was asked in a very recent Pune Infosys interview. Okay, can you please list out some moment types from the MM? Okay, like we know 101, 653, 655 like that, but try to have some more moment types. Okay, so that's what the moment type field is all about. Let's come back to CN. Okay, yeah. The next is item relevant for delivery. This check indicator, item relevant for delivery. So what this controls? This will controls that it item relevant for delivery or not. Why? Because certain items are not relevant for delivery. Okay, why? Because those are already relevant for delivery. Suppose say you take CT, that is bomb. Okay, this relevant for delivery, it is applicable only for CT, that is no inventory movement and goods issue for bomb. Why? Because if you deliver a computer, a keyboard, mouse and CPU is automatically delivered, right? You need not specifically mention that it should be delivered. And how it is delivering automatically when you deliver the computer with the help of this item relevant for delivery. You see, in this you don't have anything activated except item relevant for delivery. This is the control where you can deliver the components of a material. The next we have three fields, very important fields, very important fields. This is order type, item category, account assignment category. Very important fields, and these three fields applicable for only two schedule lines. Okay, only two schedule lines, that is CS and CB. So what is CS? Anyone? CS, third party. CB, IPO. Okay, so these three fields, order type and item category and account assignment category, these three fields are applicable only for these two schedule lines. Let me show you. CS is the third party schedule line. So you can see order type NB, item category 5 and account assignment category 1 maintained for CS. If I go to CB, order type NB same, and item category earlier it was 1 for CS, but here it is 0. Earlier it was where is CS? Yeah, it is, sorry, it is 5 and 1, and here it is 0 and E. For CB it is 0 and E. So this is the controls, and this is applicable only for both. So let's see what it controls, and this is what controls the complete third-party process and IPO process. Okay, so order type NB, as we have just seen, it's applicable only for CS and CB. So what this order type NB controls? See, third-party process, just in my other session we are discussing this today. I have already those images. Let me take it from there. So this is the third party process. So whenever you create an order in third party, so what you are doing, you are raising a PR, that is purchase requisition in the background. So how this purchase requisition is raised in the background? That is with the help of this particular order type NB. Okay, so what order type NB controls? It will help to generate purchase requisition automatically in the background when you create a sales order in third party process. You can see CS or CB, both the process, it will help us to raise a PR. That's what the order type NB controls. Okay, it helps to generate a PR automatically in the background. The next field is item category. So there it is 5 and for IPO it is 0. So what this item category controls? See, in the initial session in the Metal Master we discussed about two fields which is called as general item category group and item category group. So any idea what is general item category group and item category group? Anyone? What is?
General item categories
Yeah.
for the inbound delivery.
Yeah.
General item categories for the outbound delivery.
Outbound delivery, right? So for outbound delivery, what this item category group is helping for? It's helping us to determine item categories into the sales document, right? In the same way, when you are doing the return deliveries, that is income in deliveries, also needs movement types to be determined. Also has some movement types. Also has some item categories. So guys want to use item categories. So what this item category, generally item category, what it will help is, it will allow end users to use or rewrite the item categories manually. Okay, but here what this moment type, item category for CS and CB, that is 5 and 0 controls is, again I need to take back you to the process. Okay, third party process. Okay, this is my row. See, third party we have two processes. One is with shipping notification and one other is without shipping notification. Okay, with shipping notification and without shipping notification. So what this item category 5 controls is, you can see here in third party the delivery is actually done by the vendor. Okay, you see here the delivery in third party is actually done by the vendor, not by the company. But in third party with shipping notification, vendor is sending you the delivery challan and you are capturing it MyGo. What is MyGo? Nothing but goods receipt. Goods receipt means there should be some update in the inventory, stock updates in the inventory. But physically the goods is not received by the company. The physical goods is received by the company, but the quantity is captured by the MyGo at the company. So what this item category 5 controls is, when you do MyGo in the third party with shipping notification, system will treat this MyGo as a dummy MyGo. When you treat as a dummy MyGo, then system stocks will not be updated. Okay, so in the third party, item category 5 controls that when you do MyGo in the third party process with shipping notification, system will treat that MyGo as a dummy MyGo and stocks will not be updated. And coming to the IPO process, the delivery is done by the company itself. Company procure the stock from the vendor and company itself delivers the goods. So in that case, system should treat that MyGo as a actual MyGo. So how it controls? That's controlled by this item category 0. Okay, so that's what the item category field 5 and 0 controls. The next is account assignment category E. Account assignment category E is, so dummy MyGo means it's nothing but like a stock should not be updated. That's it. There is no specific on that. We don't want that stocks to be updated. So that's the reason it will capture as a dummy MyGo. So the next is account assignment category. I have put the differences between CS and CB here. You can see. So account assignment category 1 and E. The role or functionality of account assignment category is to raise inventory accounting document. Okay, the functionality is to raise an inventory accounting document, and the second use is it will help to pass on the data from the sales order to purchase requisition, that is ship to party quantity. These details it will help to copy from order to PR. So it has two functionalities, account assignment category. that is whether to generate an inventory accounting document when you do MyGo or PGI. MyGo means it comes in the third party, PGI means it comes in the IPO. So whether to raise a inventory accounting document or not. Okay. So MyGo, there is no inventory accounting document generated. Why? Because actually we are not receiving the stock. But PGI, an inventory accounting document should be generated, that is COGS debit to inventory credit. Why? Because stock is physically moving out of the plant. So that's what this account assignment category controls. So these fields are very, very important when it comes to the interviews. The exact same questions you will be asked in the interview, same questions. Okay. So the next is purchase requisition delivery scheduling. This purchase requisition delivery scheduling is applicable only for one scheduler. You see, for CN, it's not there. DN, it's not there. You go to CS, it's not there. So this purchase requisition delivery is applicable only for one schedule line, that is for IPO, CB. You see, only for CB, it's activated. So purchase requisition delivery, it's applicable only for the CB, that is for the IPO. So what it controls, if you activate this, the delivery dates and confirmed quantities will be transferred from sales document to PR. Okay, from sales document to PR, the delivery dates and this will be copied. The next is requirement and assembly, availability and product allotment. See, what is the difference between CN and CP? What is the difference between CN and CP? CN is deterministic no MRP and CP is deterministic MRP. So what is the difference is these three fields. You go to CN, no MRP, you will not find anything. Why? Because you don't want availability check should be happen. You don't want the TOR to be happen. Nothing, right? So you don't need this. But if you go to CP, deterministic MRP, then you want this. That means you want to perform availability check. This should be activated. Okay. So what is requirement assembly and availability and product allocation? If you want, sorry, not product allocation, requirement assembly and availability. And what is the next field? Okay, only two. Product allocation is again completely different. Only these two, TOR and availability.
Praveen?
Yeah, Ramesh, go ahead.
Hi, Praveen. So why we need this availability check at many levels, like MM, material master level, as well as here, middle line level.
Yeah. See, these all are
So
nothing
many
but
places we.
prerequisites. These all are prerequisites. That means if you want to perform availability check, you should maintain 4 prerequisites. And all these prerequisites at various stages tells you whether the stock is available or not. If it's available, what kind of stock, whether you can deliver, it's reserved or it's a product allocation stock, it's unrestricted stock, or it is a what we call the safety stock, what stock it is, it tells. So that's the reason you should activate it multiple levels, and these all are prerequisites to perform availability check. Is that clear? So see, you will understand this when you come to the topic called availability check.
Okay.
It is so early actually at this point of time. If you can identify these fields, that's enough, but you'll use these fields when it comes there.
Okay.
Yeah. So requirement assembly and availability check, these two fields will help you to do the availability check and transfer of requirements when you create an order. That's it. Okay. And product allocation actually it is something different from what the standard. That is, if you want to revert the stock to customer or customer groups to meet the future allocations, which we already discussed in the material master. Product allocation, reserving some stocks to the customers or customer groups, then we use this. Okay. So that's the what we have in the schedule and category. So it looks very simple, like a 1 hour session, but it's a very vast concept, very vast concept. It looks like a one simple 1 hour session, but your mind will be blown out to remember these all things. So put more emphasis. As I told you, you will be very much occupied once we start the document types, and I hope you can realize that. Lots of many things to remember, many things to practice. So now see, as we have item category determination, we also have schedule line determination. So let's see that concept, schedule line determination. So how a schedule line determined into sales document, that is with two fields, that is item category and MRP type, will help us to determine what is MRP type, planning or no planning, PD or ND. TAN with planning will help us to determine CP, which is deterministic MRP, which we use in the real time. TAN plus ND, CN, no MRP. You don't want to perform MRP. Okay. So the T code is VOV5. Let me go there and show you. /N VOV5. So position, item category TAN plus PD. Sorry, PD should determine CP or manual item category CN. So in interviews they might ask you how many manual schedule line categories I have. I hope it's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So manual item categories is 11 and schedule line categories is 9. Okay. So this is what an schedule line category determination is all about. So earlier you were asking, right, why 601, 602. So like this, you can have your own schedule line to be determined with the help of a different item category and different moment type. Okay. So that's it, the schedule line determination. So we finished discussing about complete sales document types, and tomorrow we'll start discussing about the delivery document types. Okay. Most probably by this weekend we'll finish all the document types, and from Monday we'll start pricing. Okay. So any questions for today? And this thing very important, as I told you, schedule lines very important. Take a 5-star for very schedule line category. Not only for the interviews, for the real time also, it's such an important. Okay. So let's call it a day today and catch back tomorrow and go with the delivery document types. So start your preparation, intensify your preparation. So you will be occupied with lots of concepts in coming days. Okay. So have a good day everyone. Catch back tomorrow. Bye bye.